Hi guys, welcome back to the part 2 of my journey to the UK, of my 2-year journey to the UK. If you are new here, my name is Dorothy and I want to humbly welcome you to my YouTube channel. If you like my content, kindly subscribe, like and share all my videos and invite your friends and their friends and their friends and their friends to come subscribe as well. Stay tuned guys for the part 2, and if you're an OG, thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm so grateful for your loyalty. Thank you for joining me. Without wasting my time, let's get into the video for today, guys. Hi guys, so we are still in the mood of gratitude, the atmosphere of gratitude, of thanksgiving to the Most High God, because God has truly been faithful and kind to me. I cannot I cannot hold his thanksgiving. I cannot hold his gratitude from him. I cannot withhold it because he's just too good. He's just too good. So we're gonna continue from when I had my offer. Okay, so after I had my offer, there were some processes that you still had to go through. One like pre-employment checks with your former employers. They're gonna, confirm that you've worked with them and that you are good, you are this, you are that. They're gonna do all that. I passed through that stage by God's grace, and then the next stage was occupational health checks, where you have to do some labs, some medicals to ensure that you are fit and healthy for the position. So I did most of my tests at if you know Accra Polyclinic. Is it Accra Polyclinic? No, Adabraka. Yeah, Adabraka Polyclinic. That's where they give the yellow card thing, and then you get some shots. I went there with one of my pastors, Pastor Nina. Shout out to Pastor Nina. She was also there for me throughout this time, driving me around town, taking me places. So I had it easier to do all my rounds. So I went there, did um my the test that needed to be done, got my shots, got my cards, and then they also usually request for your um all these immunizations that we take from childhood. So I still had my immunization card with me, so I screenshotted it and then uploaded it on the page together with all the other tests that I've done, including my HIV test and all necessary tests. I did everything and uploaded it, my yellow card vaccination and all that. I uploaded all of them. Then that was that stage done and completed. Then we had to do more waiting and waiting. I guess, was there any other thing we did before the waiting? Yes, we did something as well. We had to do a PVG. That is, what's the full meaning of PVG? Guys, I've forgotten the full meaning of PVG, but it's just like a police clearance check that you do here in the UK to clear you of any adult or child abuse, that you've not abused any adult before, you've not abused any child before, that you are clear. Something like a police clearance. You still had to do a police clearance for Ghana to apply for your visa as well, and to also upload on the NMC website. By now, I was partially done with NMC. The next stage of the NMC process was to be done when I moved here to the UK, which was to do my OSCE exams. So yeah, I was done with all that, and mind you guys, throughout all this process, even before I had an interview, I had already started purchasing items that I knew I'd be needing for the UK. There is this list that has been going around. If you're a nurse or someone that is migrating to the UK, you would know about that list. It includes a list of things and items that you're going to be needing if you're moving to the UK. So by then, I'd already started buying all these things, guys. No darling, I had mad faith. I knew I was gonna come here. So I started, any small money that I get that I think could afford something good, I'll just go ahead and buy it and put it down. I'd already purchased my bags and a few other items that I was gonna be needing. So I didn't really have much stress when I finally had my visa and I was supposed to come. So yeah, then after the PVG, I did my police clearance. I already had my passport done in 2022. So I already had everything prepared. The only thing I was now waiting for was my COS, which is Certificate of Sponsorship. That is something that is given to you by the employer to show that I am choosing to employ so and so person, and this person is covered under me for something, something, something. So this person can apply for a visa, and then you go ahead to apply for a visa because it's a skilled worker visa you're applying for. So they need to know that you have sponsorship here in the UK before they give you that visa. So that is what happened. Then that wait, guys, was so long. I had an offer in February, 28th of February. I received my offer letter. I did my interview on 20th, and then exactly 8 days after, I received my offer letter. And guys, I waited from 8th of, from first. The process was supposed to go faster. Okay, let me just say that I was supposed to, the offer date, the conditional date they offered was in May. But fast forward, June, I was still in Ghana. I was still in Ghana in June, and I eventually got my COS on 30th of June. And even with that one, the prayers that I had to kabash and cafe before I finally got that thing, guys. People were getting their own. Like, I think the NHS did a massive recruitment. Okay, so they had to divide us into sections and provide our COS to us so that we all don't come crashing or rushing in on them in the UK. So they just did it bit by bit, bit by bit. And I was one of the people that got this, part of the third or fourth round or so. But I cabbage and cabbage and cabbage. I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. And finally, I wrote on one of my requests for Alpha Hour that I want to receive my COS on 30th of June. And that morning, I woke up. I was supposed to go to Accra as usual to make rounds for our building and to make my own personal rounds as well. And then before I even left the house, someone commented, COS received. We had a group page where we were all on. The NHS made a group page for us so they can post important information and they were like, someone was like, COS has been received. Oh, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I knew I was going to receive mine that day. So I still went on about my duties in Mokola that day. I was just walking around. And then my phone pinged. I think when it pinged, I was on the phone with my sister. If you all know, my sister is in the US. I was on the phone with her. And it pinged. I checked the email and I was like, says I received my series. So she was like, yay. I'm good. So we're both happy. I just couldn't wait to go home that day because I applied for my visa that same night. I didn't even wait. Like I was just in a hurry. And you know, when I talk about friends that are there for you, I didn't really have money for my visa at that time, or maybe I did, but I was saving all those money for when I move here, because we were supposed to provide accommodation for ourselves, and you had to have pocket money and all that. My sister gave me money for all that, but I still needed my own money because what she was giving me was not actually going to be enough for both accommodation and upkeep till I got paid for the first month. So yeah, my friend paid for my visa for me. Guys, yeah, that is what good friends do. Okay, he paid for my visa for me, and so I the next day, which was Saturday, that day was a Friday. The next day, which was Saturday, I went straight to town to look for a bank because I had to deposit the money. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know. I just don't want to go into that, but I had to deposit the money into my bank account to be able to pay, and I roamed and roamed and roamed. I had to go to Kaneshi to get a bank that opened on Saturday, which I think I was using, was it FBN or so? First National Bank, one of those banks. First National Bank, first something. That was the bank I was using because I had their prepaid Visa card. That was what I used to do my bank deposits and all that, like my payments for the whole UK process thing from my NMC thing and all that. That is what I was using. So I did my payments. I sat in the bank to pay the thing right there and then. I didn't even come home before. So I paid and then came home and I was just so overjoyed and happy, guys. I can't explain the feeling at that time. Okay, you have to be there to know how it feels like. So after 2 weeks, no, after, so I think A few days later, that is the next day or so, I went to TLS Center to do my biometrics. When I was done with my biometric was very smooth. I had to pay for the premium one, I think, because for some reason there was no dates for the regular one, and I wanted to do my visa very quick. I wanted to do it very quick, so I didn't even bother waiting. I just quickly paid like 1,000 and something cedis and then went in for the premium one. And after 2 weeks, I received an email that my visa was ready. So I went to Accra on a Saturday. They opened on a Saturday for visa collection, so I went in there, got my visa. And that day, instead of when I took my visa, instead of going home, I didn't go home. I went to Work Boys in Accra. Is it in Osu area or there or Laponi? Then I went to eat because I've been wanting to go there before I moved to the UK. So I went there. I went to have some, if you know me, I love anything noodles, anything like that. I went there to eat, and then I finally decided to go back home. And guys, guess what happened when I was on my way? If you guys know Ashaman, that Ashaman traffic area, opposite Ashaman traffic area, like if you're going towards how do you call it? If you're going towards Unibank, where Unibank is, like going around Afariwa, Afenia Road there, just around that marketplace where the ECG office is, this car just broke free from the road. It was just coming, hitting on people, and like, guys, to cut it short, I almost got smashed by a car. So I saw people I saw from afar people moving and running. I quickly entered, and you know those places, if you know that place, market women are all on the road, and so there's no space. But luckily for me, by God's grace, I found a place, and then I just jumped in and entered. And so the car just broke glasses of another car, and it didn't stop. It went straight away. So I was like, oh God, you have saved me, guys. God saved me that day, because imagine getting your visa and then you're about to travel like very soon, and then what would they say, like, no good and sample, and then she had an accident. Like, what? Not me. Never me. It will never be me. It will never be me. So, I forgot to drink to get in our visa. Yeah, we got our visa. We got our visa, guys. We got our visa. And we came home with a visa safely and sound by the grace of our Most High Lord. We got home, and then now we had to do travel preparations. Me, a whole me. I knew I wanted to travel, but I never ever thought like I was going to come to fruition. I never thought. That is one thing about Christians or everyone. You are hoping for something, you're pushing for something, you're working so hard for something. And sometimes, although the thing is close, or your hard work is gonna actually provide effort, it's still somehow unbelievable when the thing actually comes. I don't know if you get me. That is it. So I told you earlier that I'd already started buying stuff. So the only thing I had to prepare was my shito and provision stuff, things that are gonna perish. Those were the things that I just had to buy, meat and fish and all that. So I got all those ready. My big brother, one of my big brothers, the one that I can rise after, gave me money. In fact, the money he gave me, I went to change it into pounds because I wanted to have a lot of pocket money on me, guys. So my sister gave me some money for my flight tickets and all that. So I still had to go to the bank, change, and then because she gave me dollars, and I had to change to Ghana cedis from those Abachi guys, because if you go to the bank, the rate is so low. So I had to change and deposit on my prepaid card and then buy my flight ticket. Yeah, so I finally bought my flight ticket, and my journey was supposed to be on the 9th of August, and then I'll arrive in the UK on the 11th of August, because first I had to make a stop at Istanbul airport, because I flew with Turkish Airlines, and then from then on I'll come to Edinburgh. I chose Edinburgh because it was during the time I came, it was summer, and flight tickets had skyrocketed, guys. They had skyrocketed. But I said I must come in this August. I initially wanted to come in July because I got my passports in July. I got my visa in July, but the time frame for preparation in July was so short, and I didn't want to stress myself. So I was like, I'll do it in August. And that August, guys, I told you, I wasn't sleeping well because I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to come. Tell me why Turkish airline delays our flights. Was it 10th August or 9th August? I don't know. I don't want to check now. Tell me why Turkish airline delayed our flights from Ghana, Accra, Ghana, for about 30 minutes or something. And you know, my layover time in Istanbul was not that long. We just had as much time to walk to the boarding gate of the flight to Edinburgh and then board it. And so we got to Edinburgh and we got to Istanbul very late. By the time we got there, the flights, the connecting flight, Mia Santini, the connecting flight had left us, so we had to wait. We had to go to customer service, and tell me why the customer service personnel were so rude, guys. Those people were so rude. Turkish airline, I will always say with my chest, is the worst airline in the whole world. If you have money, just book a direct flight or whatever. Just book one of the best airlines that's popular. Don't go booking Turkish airline because it's cheap, guys. Don't waste your money. Don't book it because it's cheap. You're gonna understand why later on. So yeah, they delayed us. The customer service was so rude to us, and they couldn't get us a flight there and then that same day. So we had to stay at the airport. I was traveling with someone. We had to stay at the airport for a whole 24 hours, sleeping on their hard chairs, and they were even not allowing us to sleep at the place we decided to sleep. Some of the staff that came there to sack us that this is not the right place for us to stay. Meanwhile, there are empty chairs. We are just sitting on empty chairs. Like, guys, it didn't even make sense. We are sitting on empty chairs and you are asking us to leave. Like, for what reason? So that is how they treated us. The only good thing they did was give us a food voucher that we had to take food for in the morning, after that day, like afternoon and then evening and all that. But the food was not even that good. It wasn't even good because it was just chips. And I got bolognese that day. The bolognese was not even nice. Like, so yeah, whatever. The next morning, so they came later on to give us our flights booking. We had to now fly to what's the name, to Heathrow. Then from Heathrow we're gonna come to Edinburgh. I booked Edinburgh, as I said, because that was the cheapest I could get. I regretted it because my sister kept advising me to book a direct flight, like to book Qatar Airways or British Airways, and I was like, no way, I was spending $2,000 or something on just a flight. The next morning we flew to Heathrow. We arrived in Heathrow in the afternoon. We had to go and get our connecting flight from Heathrow to Edinburgh. Tell me why we get there and my friend's tickets, no, both our tickets were not booked from Heathrow to Edinburgh. So like they did book the ticket, but they didn't choose our seat number, so the ticket was not confirmed. The booking was not confirmed. I was like, what are these people trying to do to us? And luckily for my friend, the guy that was attending to him quickly booked a flight on that same flight that we're supposed to go with. But the lady that was doing mine was just yapping. Instead of getting to work, and she was just yapping. Eventually, when she finally got herself and then wanted to do what she had to do, the flight was fully booked. So guys, I had to stay behind again and wait for like the next flight, because the next one was full. I had to wait for like 3 more flights before I could go on. That was when I started crying, guys. I was just so sad because imagine traveling to a country that you don't know anyone, and then you had someone you were going with, and then that person is now leaving you. You're going alone. I started crying, guys. But it was okay. I just took it cool. There was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't do anything about the situation, so I just calmed down and eventually got on a flight and came to Edinburgh. Then when I landed in Edinburgh, tell me why I couldn't find my luggages. Tell me why I couldn't find both my luggages. The only thing I had was my carry-on bag and then my backpack. Tell me why I couldn't find my luggage, guys. Yeah, they misplaced our luggage because of the flight change thing that happened. So we couldn't get our luggages, guys. I got my first luggage after 2 weeks, and then the next one after 3 good or 4 months. I got my next luggage after 4 months or 3 months or so. And so now those people have still not compensated me. They were just dragging the issue, so I just left them. So guys, listen to my advice. If you're ever traveling, never ever 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 pick Turkish airline. So they eventually brought the second one, and that was the one that had almost all of my foods, my shito. The shito has poured the, like, I wrapped my shito very well, guys. I wrapped it with a cling film, then I wrapped it with napkins before I put them in rubbers. And in fact, I solicited them. Brown papers were all there. Like, I did all those things, but by the time the bag came, all, like, everything has scattered. So I had to throw everything out of that bag. There was this nice orange dress that my sister gave me. The dress was so nice. I really loved that dress. That is the dress I actually wore for my biometrics when I was going for my visa. But the dress was just shattered, so I had to throw everything out. But hey, who cares about all that? We are in the UK. I live in the UK. So who cares about all that? I can get new stuff. But yeah, that has been my journey so far, and by God's grace, work has been good. I did my final NMC exams, which is my OSCE exam. I had to do it 3 times because I failed the first one, I failed the second one, and I finally passed on the third one. There are 10 stations. I passed 7 the first time, then I went to resit the 3 that I failed, and I failed one more, which was the in-hospital resuscitation. I couldn't get that right for some reason, but I shout out to our educator. She's just the best, the absolute best. I just love that woman. She got me the instructor, the ATL BLS instructor actually, and then she helped me through that stage. And then when I went for my final one, I knew I was prepared for that day, guys. Because if I had failed that one, I was coming right back to Ghana, and that was not happening to me. So by God's grace, I passed. I passed the third one, and I got my license to practice in the UK. The NMC delayed me as well, but I mean the journey has been rocky. It hasn't been all smooth throughout, but guys, what matters is that at the end of the day, there's always victory for me. I've always been victorious through every struggle and every hardship that has come my way, and that is one thing that I'm always grateful to God for. And that is why I'll always advise people never give up. People might think because I live in the UK, I'm working, I'm doing this and that, life is rosy. Life is not rosy for me, guys, but I've been through hardships, and I've been through hardships, and God has always been there for me. I had always been, I haven't always been strong, but God has always sustained me, and that is what keeps me going. The fact that I know He's always gonna come true for me, and I am not alone, regardless of the fact that you might be alone sometimes physically, but I know that I am not always alone, and so I never give up, and I always keep fighting and pushing for myself, because if I don't do that, no one is gonna do that for me. People come close to you and they leave, but at the end of the day, you are the only one you have for yourself. So you need to push. So that brings me to the end of my journey. Right now, I'm gonna do an update of how my life is going, but this is the end of my journey. I mean, this is the end of the second video of my journey to the UK. Yeah, my journey has not ended, it's still ongoing, and I'm gonna be recording videos from time to time, sharing what is going on in my life with you guys. But from my journey from Ghana and the whole process that I went through to now, this is how it has been, and I'm forever grateful to God. 2 good years is no joke, guys. Living in another country with all the racism and all the cold, being away from family and good friends that you left behind, and all that has not been easy. But through it all, the grace of God has been sufficient, and I'm ever grateful to God for all that. Cheers to new seasons, cheers to new beginnings, cheers to ongoing growth, cheers to life, cheers to what is to come, and cheers to you all for your hard work and efforts that you're putting into everything that you're hoping to get. I promise you, never give up. Keep pushing and keep going, and you're gonna eventually get where you want to do, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for staying. And to my new subscribers, please stay and join the family. To my OJs, you guys and I, as you already know, we are locked in together. Thank you guys. Have a nice day. morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are around the world. See you again in my next video. Bye.